Namaste. How is everybody doing? Good. You're enjoying these wonderful talks since morning? They are two heady, bright, brilliant, enlightened talks, and I'm going to deflate the balloons and bring you on the planet Earth one more time to talk a little bit more objectively about your physical body, health, and well-being. Before we do that, let's invoke our teachers, our mentors, our guides, books, and everything that have illuminated our path in our life so far. So take a moment, take a nice deep breath, gently close your eyes, and think of everyone that have helped you to be here in this moment right now. This is what you have. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yasya Nishvasitam Vedaha Vedebhyo Akhilam Jagat Nirmame Tamaham Vande Vidyatirtha Maheshwaram. Hari Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. How many of you have heard this word Ayurveda before? I guess everyone. Is that right? And think about it in this way. Currently, where we are in the grand scheme of things in medicine, these are some of the books that I have written, and I'll have some books in the back at some point for book signing that you'll get to see. Where do we stand in the current state of medicine as we practice? From the Western medical perspective, we know a great deal about diseases, but we still don't know enough about our health. What makes us happy? What makes us unhappy? We still don't know why we sleep. We still don't know how and why do we wake up. Why do we do what we do? There are so many things about human life that Western medicine has technically no clue. So imagine a medical science that is given a name as Ayurveda, as science of life, as if it's a manual of life for you to think about yourself. That you have been given a body, you've been given a mind, you have a source of life in your greater soul, self, spirit, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. The tripod of this, what you call it as your walking, talking body, is that you have. And that keeps you pretty busy all your life. Is that right? Sattvam Atma Shariram Trayam Etat Tridandavat, the tripod of life of Sattva, which is mind, Atma, which is soul or self or spirit, and Sharir, which is body. And the word Sharira is defined as Shiryate it Shariram. Shiryate yat tad Shariram. It's decaying, disintegrating from the very first breath that you took till now. It is shedding bits and pieces all the time. Is that right? From the first breath that you take to the last breath, it is shedding. And Ayurveda, which is the Upaveda of Atharva Veda, the very motto, the very mission statement of Ayurveda is Ayurvedo Amritanam. Can you imagine a medical science? The mission statement is Ayurveda for immortality. Having known this, that you are dying every moment, it still says the whole purpose of life is to connect your mortal self with your immortal self at every point and turn of your life, with every experience that you're going through, with every situation that you go through in life. The purpose of life to really, really understand that this ayu, this lifespan that is given to you, how can you convert that into a health span? Because the word Ayu simply doesn't mean the life span. It technically means how you live your life. I think before we even heard this word lifestyle medicine, I like to call Ayurveda as the original lifestyle medicine. It's the original biohack that is known to humanity. Is that right? It's one of the most ancient and most comprehensive system of medicine that is known to humanity because it tells you the measurement of everything. The measurement of everything. Hitayu, ahitayu. What is good for you, what is not good for you, and for your longevity. What is sukhayu, what is dukkhayu. What is going to bring you happiness, what is going to bring you misery. And more importantly, understanding this at your own level. You are the only person who can understand whether am I happy or unhappy, whether this is yum or yak, whether I like it, whether I don't like it. Nobody else is going to tell you that. And so the difference is that for you to really understand and calibrate your inner body experience, even before we coin this term, interoceptive awareness, homeostasis, homeostatic balance, we know that Ayurveda has been talking about understanding and asking yourself a simple question, which sounds like a rocket science nowadays. If you tell yourself, ask yourself how hungry you are before you eat your meal. How much thirsty are you? And there was a research published not long ago that most of the Americans reached for a snack, in fact, when they were thirsty. So we are slowly becoming so dumb that we can't even differentiate the difference between thirst and hunger. There was a lady recently who came to me with a little gadget around her, and I said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, this is, you don't know about this?" I said, "Tell me." She said, "This tells me exactly what to do." And she pressed the button and tells me that I have burned 11 calories, and if I need to have something, it can tell me now that I can have 2 almonds, I can have half a scoop of yogurt, I need half an ounce of water right now. So we are becoming so much disconnected from our body that we are relying on the outside gadgets to tell us what is going on inside our body as such. And when we talk about Ayurveda as the manual of life, maintaining your own health is your own domain. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam is your own personal domain. How to remain healthy. And where do we learn this? Who teaches you this? And that is the most important question, where you have to participate in your own health and well-being all lifelong. All lifelong. That's the big difference between when you go to a health maintenance organization and when you maintain your own health at your own level. Is that right? Because nobody else can maintain your health. Only you can maintain your own health and the purpose of everything. We talked a lot about this, and I feel I'm stuck in this tug of war between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, but the reality is that your main dharma is your body. Is that right? Mahakavi Kalidas says, Sharir Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhana. Whatever you want to do, you have to be healthy enough first. Dharmartha kama mokshanam arogyam moolam uttamam. No fun when you are having a headache and trying to meditate, or you have a painful joint and you're trying to sit cross-legged in meditation. No fun at all. Or having a terrible heartburn and trying to think or do a japa or this or that. So health is the basis of everything that you want to achieve and accomplish in life. If you want to do your rightful duties, dharma, yes, health is needed. If you want to earn money, wealth, resources of all kinds, you have to be healthy enough. And if you earn that money, you should have health enough to enjoy those pleasures. Is that right? Kama. And whether you are on the pursuit of enlightenment or moksha, health is absolutely needed. So no matter where you go, health is the very basis of everything, and Ayurveda is actually a manual for this. And this is becoming even more important because if you look at The very first word in Charak Samhita, which is considered to be the main literature volume body of Ayurvedic wisdom as such, is Dirgham Jivitiya. Think about it for a moment. Like we always talk about in Bhagavad Gita, it starts with dharma and how it goes on talking about everything pertaining to dharma, and the last word of Bhagavad Gita is mama. So if you continue those words together, then it's your dharma, what is good for you. Here the first word is Dirgham Jivitiya. We all know that the body is not real. Everything that you see in this world is 100% not real. You look at your beautiful nose in the mirror, it's just clumps of matter, tissues coming together. Those are nothing but certain molecules, atoms, subatomic particles moving at an electrifying speed. So it's a cosmic dust which doesn't even make your body what you look at in the mirror as such. So when we know that the body is not even real, the quest of longevity is the very beginning of the Ayurvedic literature. And now we are painfully realizing where we are chasing the globe to find the blue zones, where they are and what people are doing. Some of them are smoking, some of them are drinking, some of them are doing different things. And we still cannot dissect what makes them tick, what makes them live longer, healthier, and happier. So the quest of longevity is the very beginning of this. Dirgham Jivitiyam Adhyayam. And that Dirgham Jivitiya does not only address the lifespan, but it addresses the health span. And what decides your health span is Hita Hitam Sukham Dukkham Ayustasya Hita Hitam Manam Chataccha Yatroktam Ayurveda Sauchate. So what is good for you, what is not good for you? What is right for you, what is not so right for you? What is beneficial, what brings you joy and happiness, and versus what brings you sickness, diseases, and suffering. And the measurement of everything, is that right? The measurement, how much of milk, how much of water, how much of this, how much of vegetables, how much of that. The measurement pertaining to each individual is so important. We had this beautiful, brilliant discussion this morning, is that right? About the attitude, the mentality of the sadhaka, trying to pursue this path or that path. Because at the end of the day, it's who you are, how your mind thinks, how your sensory experiences go in, will decide what kind of life you're going to live. So I'm not saying that you should never pursue that, but I think the perception of health and understanding Ayurveda as a true lifestyle medicine, and this is not an age-old, ancient, outdated science. What I'm trying to tell you here is the cutting-edge, latest modern medical science. Every new book that you come out, we now know about 70 to 80% of the diseases are lifestyle diseases. Is that right? And most of them can not only be prevented but reversed with simple changes in diet and lifestyle. Most of them. Personalized medicine that understands the genetic and metabolic differences in individual. Long before we heard this term personalized medicine, Ayurveda has been talking about understanding people with Vata, Pitta, and Kapha mentality. Not only who you think, how you metabolize, how you digest, how you assimilate, how you pursue what kind of path for enlightenment that you do, and then how you do your work with energy, with clarity. You have these innate doshas that are governing your physical nature and your psycho-emotional nature. I like to use the term doshas in your koshas at times. And those combinations of those doshas which drive everything will decide exactly how you're going to respond to everything. And it's very unique. We are realizing that, and we have created so many different boards of modern functional medicine. Even in functional medicine, they call that there are people who are degenerative type, which are more like a Vata type. There are people who are inflammatory types, which are more Pitta type. There are people who are more retentive types, who retain food and water, are more Kapha types. and coming up with treatment plans which is based upon that. That's why we need 10 different blood pressure medications. That's why we need 4 different kind of cholesterol lowering medication, because one stroke doesn't fit all. And this understanding is very unique to Ayurveda. Even this new term, new emerging science of nutrigenomics, nutrition specific to your genes, is that right? If a Pitta person is eating hot and spicy foods and he increases his heat and inflammation, becomes even more irritable, grumpy, hot-headed, you change the food, changes and balances the dosha, is that right? Long before even we heard this term nutrigenomics, we have been prescribing people Vata, Pitta, Kapha pacifying diet for ages together. And whether this is a rocket science, absolutely. You change few things that you are doing and it changes the spectrum of how you think and how you manifest the disease. And Ayurveda is truly not just mere a genetic way of manifesting things or understanding things, but it is the science of epigenome and epigenetics. If your environment where you live is affecting your inner environment all the time, then you are at a constant loss. If your outer environment is affecting your inner environment, then you are at a constant loss. I'm stuck in a traffic jam, my boss doesn't like me, I'm not getting a raise, my wife bugs me all the time, I hate my kids. It's affecting you all the time. But if your inner environment is capable of influencing your outer environment, then I would say you are half enlightened. Because then you are able to buffer that experience before it goes in. Is that right? And learning the art of metabolizing experience is very unique to Ayurvedic sciences. With yoga, Ayurveda, everything that we talk about is the union of this Vedic way of living, thinking, behaving, acting. Because all of that is going to prevent you so much of chaos and imbalances because of that. And this understanding of what you bring in and how you metabolize. You are nothing. Let me repeat this. You are nothing but 100% the metabolic end product of your sensory experiences. Nothing else. Imagine the people that you have met, the books you have read, the company that you have kept, everything has created who you are as of today, right now. And you change your environment, you change your expression of your body. And we often say that, is that right? If you want to imagine what your thoughts were yesterday, look at your body today. And if you want to imagine what your body would look like tomorrow, look at what you're thinking right now. Because everything is hinged with that tool of your mind, emotions, and sensory perception. And this is the core message of Ayurveda. I'm not here to give you a crash course in 15 minutes about all the Ayurvedic medicine, but I'm going to give you the salient features. And what is the salient feature? The most important feature is the experiences are creating you. You mitigating that experiences, creating a buffering way so that you purify, distill, and you metabolize those experiences properly. You create a vibrant, healthy, energetic body out of this. We talked about Ayurveda Amritanam. It's a consciousness-based approach to health and healing. Mataji talked about prana so beautifully. Is that right? It's all energy. Wherever you find energy, how you energize the body and restore the flow of prana, that is what it is. And she was telling us about love. Is that right? The Sanskrit word for love is sneha. Sneha. And what does sneha means? Oil, fat. And one of the simplest definition in Ayurveda for aging is drying and drying is dying. Aging is drying and drying is dying. So if you become dry, stiff, shriveled, wrinkly, that's where you're going. If you want to reverse this, Oleate, lubricate, moisturize, soften, everything. And now we have come a long way even in medicine. Is that right? 10 years ago there was a headline, 0% fat. Is that right? No fat diet that we were talking. And now we have butter is better. Everybody talks about all omega 3, 6, and 9 essential fatty acids. That's what you want to eat. Is that right? Essential fat. Because your brain is 95% of your brain is pure fat, nothing else. Pure fat. We call it as a ball of ghee, frozen ghee. It's exactly a ball of frozen ghee. And every nerve that comes out from the spinal cord is bathed into that gooey liquid of myelin sheath, which is oil, guys. So oleating, lubricating, keeping the body soft, supple, flexible, physically as well as mentally, is the secret of aging. So when you start putting drops in your nose, eyes, oil pulling, gargling, doing abhyanga, oil massage, it's an age-old Ayurvedic concept where you are participating in your own health. When we train our Panchakarma therapists in our clinic, we train them about how to do the oil enemas, how to do the drops and ear drops and nose drops. They look at me and said, "Gosh, Dr. Suhas, is there a hole that you guys don't put oil into?" I said, "No, wherever there's a hole, there's an oil for it." It's a part of Ayurvedic daily routine. And more importantly, it is something where you're participating. You're generating your own neurohormones and transmitters and flow. You're cooking, cleaning. Doing something for yourself is very, very important. What we need is food, air, and water to sustain. Is that right? Unfortunately, we have made a mess of all the three of them. But think about it. What you need the most is to live is air. Is that right? You can't live without that for long. The second most important is water. And the least important is food. And how much fuss we have made with this food itself. Gosh, every new book, eat this, not that. Do this, don't do that. Eat at this time, eat at that time. Food is overrated, I would say. Less you eat, the longer you live. And this whole debate that we have in modern medicine about required daily allowances, if you follow that, you will die with a lot of ama very soon. Because it's not about what you're eating or how much you have to eat, what you can take in and still generate energy. Is that right? You want to eat the right food in the right amount and have the energy to function and feel light. Lightness, laghutvam. As you said, laghutvam is the quality of sattva. It increases prakash. So laghutva, sattva, prakash, it's all together. Even when we say enlightenment, you use the word light for light. I'm using the word light as the quality for lightness. Langhanam paramam aushadham. Eating less will make you live longer, healthier, and happier. So if you want to take a take-home practice, do this. Going back to the same understanding, Ayurveda is the science of qualia and qualities. That's what it is, nothing else. Qualia and qualities. If you eat heavy, you become heavy. If you eat light, you become light. If you eat hot, spicy, this and that, you will create that heat in your mind and body itself. 100% of your thinking, even your mind, there are qualities in mind that we will talk later today, are qualities related with anutpam, atha ekatvam, dvau guna manasa spruta. So the atomic quality of the mind is influenced by the food that you eat. And this is very, very important because it's not only just the definition of sattvic, rajasic, tamasic food, it's the atomic qualities of the food creates the mentality, who you are. And in terms of food, what you are eating converts your mind, and that mind makes the choices, creates difficulties, challenges for you in your life, and so becomes a destiny where you're trapped into that. So where do you separate this? Is controlling and regulating your food, your response to other environment, and going back to this point of qualia and qualities. Everything has qualities. Whether you like it or not, your senses, you are blessed and cursed to decide on the qualities. Is the weather cool? Is the weather warm? Is the food good, bad? Everything that you are doing is a constant judging all day long. You are what you are because of the qualities that you're exposed to. I sometimes jokingly say my job as an Ayurvedic doctor is very easy. Because first half, I listen to the patients what they are doing. In the second half, I tell them not to do that. And they will automatically get better. Mark Twain once said that I have figured out a very simple way to be healthy. I should be eating what I don't want to eat, and I should be doing what I would rather not do. I will be healthy automatically. And having that awareness that how do you maintain your own health at your own level, where all the layers of your life have to be seamlessly integrated. You can't just talk about a perfect ideal body mass index. But life entails every layer of your life, your relationship, your profession, your work, your fulfillment, your purpose, your dharma, all of it together. And trust me, understanding the root cause of the disease is the very important message of Ayurveda. So many people that we see in our practice, they eat when they want, they sleep when they want, and they come to us to find a natural solution for unnatural living, which is not always possible. So finding the root cause in understanding what they are is so important. And the root cause can be right in front of your eyes, but many people are completely ignorant and do not pay attention to this. And sometimes these prescriptions can be very expensive, but we'll have to address the root cause and promoting behavior that changes your body to heal yourself. One of the books that I wrote not long ago was Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life. And the reason why I wrote that book, because no matter what I was telling my patients, do the oil massage, cook your food, shop in the right place, go to farmer's market, they look at me, Dr. Suhas, who has time to do all this? Time. Okay, we are all becoming stingy with our time so that we are not even able to participate in our health. We don't have time to sleep. We don't have time for exercise. We don't have time to do anything. And I'm so happy and so proud of all of you to find time to be here and listen to these enlightened masters here. Because you are participating. You are telling what is important. Especially those young kids, teenagers, millennials. If time is money, they are broke. They have no time. And it's the perception of the time which is creating the problems. It's the perception of the time which is creating even more problems. So promoting behavioral changes, patients are active partners. Many times these patients come to us and tell us that my headache is your headache, fix me. And they're not wrong, because if they go to a standard medical practitioner, they are going to have 5 to 7 minutes to listen to their problems, and half of that time they're not even looking at them, they're looking at the labs and whatever the vitals the nurse has done, and a couple of minutes will come out with the prescription, you take it, and I won't even bother to ask you what is triggering your headache. Why are you having a headache? Because it's a symptomatic treatment. And that is a problem, not only the whole cascade of autoimmune conditions and everything, we have no discussion in a standard medical setting. The relationship between the healer and the healing, between the doctor and the practitioner, is completely missing. The healing won't even happen there, because you're talking to some illusory object. And the doctors are worried about their own malpractice insurance and what they're supposed to do right and things like that. And the patient is worried what his insurance is going to be covered and things and that. And no healing in between. No trust. Many of these physicians that we train, I ask them that, will you give this medication to your father or your children? And he says, no, I won't give it to them. But I have to do that for my patients, because if I don't do that, then I'll be sued for malpractice. So the faith, the trust in this medicine, what Ayurveda talks about, is very important. Finding natural ways to take care of diseases. Eating well, going to sleep at a proper time, meditation, yoga, physical movement, exercise, sunlight, air, forest bathing, biophilia, so many modalities that we are not even talking about in a standard medical care itself. And the funny thing is, these things that you have to do it on your own. It's an ongoing process, is that right? It's an ongoing process, and it's an ongoing process because you have to keep on doing. People ask me that if I come to you and pay you this much money to do panchakarma, will I be healthy for the rest of my life? I said, you wish. Because as soon as you get out of that door, the imbalances are going to set in. And so this is very important that we emphasize prevention. We empower everyone to be responsible. Education. Ayurveda is all about educating people how to take care of themselves. What is the right food for me? What makes me feel good? And giving them the experience. Is that right? That experience should motivate them to come back and do something. Low-tech versus high-tech intervention. These are all low-tech interventions. They don't cost you anything, but they have far-reaching implication. Whether yoga, pranayama, meditation, oil massage, nasya, these things do not cost you anything. In fact, once you start eating Ayurvedic way, any restaurant food will not amuse you anymore. Because you start loving and liking that food. It's the soul food that is fresh and vibrant and clean and healthy. Another important thing is spiritual evolution. There's no discussion. There's no discussion in modern medicine about the spiritual component and the spiritual aspect of life as such. What is the purpose of your life? How do you manage your own emotions? We compartmentalize it so much that for this you go to a shrink, for this you go here, for that you go there. And having this Ayurvedic doctor, Vaidya, Jyotishi, everything all rolled into one is an old foregone situation. And I think we need to reinvent this, where you're going to a friend, philosopher, and guide and getting a customized treatment plan. And one more time, everything that we talk about here is totally becoming a modern medical science. The Ayurvedic lifestyle medicine, personalized medicine, nutrigenomics, way before we even heard this term gut microbiome, Ayurveda has been talking about the ama that is created in your gut is responsible how your brain behaves. Is that right? We have the prayer. Is that right? Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kashit dukkha bhag bhavet. So when we say Sarve santu niramaya, may everybody be free of ama. Ama is the one which makes you feel dull, heavy, groggy, toxic, and tired. So eating the right food, digesting it, and not having ama in your body is the core component of Ayurveda. Feeling light, feeling bright is the way you should be feeling all the time. So gut microbiome, the connection between the Agni and the ama, swastha vritta. Swastha vritta is a cyclical way of living your life from a chronobiological perspective. Chrono means time, and how your time influences your biology, the seasons of day and night, the cycles of night and darkness. We did a beautiful mantra meditation with Gayatri mantra because sun is the giver of health. Is that right? Arogyam bhaskarat ichet. You get the health from sun because sun is what creates life possible. Our little planet Earth is moving on its axis and swirling around, dizzying speed around sun. Whether you like it or not, day and night are created. Whether you like it or not, the seasons are created. Whether you like it or not, different foods are grown in different times of the year. You are just helplessly trying to follow an ideal daily routine. You wake up when the sun rises, you unwind when the sun sets. It's not a rocket science. When the sun is rising, it's a tender sunlight. Your Agni is a little bit gentle and weak. Eat a lighter breakfast. When it's prominent in the middle of the day, at its zenith, your digestive fire is open, prominent, robust, healthy. Eat the main meal of the day. When it's setting, lighter, sunset, eat light. When I wrote my book, Hot Belly Diet, one of the things that I wrote in the book was eat late to gain some weight, sleep late to gain some weight. And trust me, 70% of the country was doing both. Eating late was the main meal of the day, and sleeping late was the main reason for the weight loss. And no matter what you do, what changes you do, nothing works. So going back to this solar nutrition is an Ayurvedic concept, Achar Rasayana Sadvritta. It's a shift that you have in neuroendocrinological behavior. Achar Rasayana, and we'll talk about it later in the afternoon session, is a behavioral medicine. It's really understanding, and because it's priceless. Sadvrittam anushteyam. If you start making that as your second behavior, you start leading a much healthier and happier life. Panchakarma, detox is very important. We know that we are surrounded with too much toxins. Carcinogenic, mutagenic, reprotoxic, so many things. So cleanliness, purification, detoxification, every change of season, that is why it is meant to go through that cleanses. Is that right? There are 2 dates in the calendar, equinox and solstice. Fall equinox, spring equinox, winter solstice, summer solstice. 3 days before, 3 days after, go through a 7-day cleanse. Even the Navratri that we celebrate is the Sharadiya Navratra, Vasantik Navratra. Those are meant for cleansing, fasting, detoxification. We talked about herbs, formulations, chikitsa. It's a multi-modality Ayurvedic treatment. So again, the purpose of this talk was not to give you a big overview of the doshas and taste and Agni and Ama, but just to give you an overview of Ayurvedic medicine that is the very basis of Vedantic way of living. This way of living is swasthasya urjaskara tejaskara vrusham yat tadrasayanam. This way of living is longevity promoting. It is bringing you close to your own self. Ayurveda is a science which introduces you to your own self to live mindfully, healthily, and happily. Namaste. Thank you.